Today's Friday. Oh, it's the 24th of June. It's San Juan. It's a public holiday fiesta today. And this evening we've come for an evening walk in Peguera, and the surf's up. The noise is the sea. It's pretty rough here, and we've got a few surfers already out enjoying the waves. The sun's actually starting to set, but the light's quite good, and must be good because there's a photographer down there doing some interesting photography shots. The beach has still got quite a few people on because the temperature's still good, and just around the corner there's actually a lot of people in the sea, but in the distance you probably can't see them on this. There's a few surfers in there, and this is one of the beaches that quite often gets some good waves, and so the surfers come down. Temperature has dropped a little bit, at least so my meteorologist wife tells me. She keeps an eye on the temperature. We've got a thermometer on the terrace, and we keep the thermometers in the shade, so it's not reading sun temperatures, it's reading real air temperatures. And just before we left it was 31 degrees. As we walked down here I thought, oh, that's not, it feels quite cool, but we're in the sun, it feels hot and sticky again. So we'll soon be in the shade, and hopefully it'll soon be a little bit cooler. So today is the 24th of June, and the fiesta that we have at this time of the year is called San Juan. So it's today, it's always on the 24th of June, San Juan. And the fiesta that really starts on the 23rd, and it's a time when people go down to the beach and light bonfires. Candles have become very popular in recent years, and have a party on the beach. We went actually into Palma, but they have a really big fiesta there. If you want to have a look at that, you're going to have to look at our San Juan video, and it's an hour and 23 minutes long, I think, so it's one of our longest ever videos. But it's that long because that's how long the firework display was. And we didn't actually go down to a beach, we did drive past one, and lots and lots of people, and they start congregating there in the evening. I'm just seeing there's a pirate here, so I just better watch my step. And they take some drink, they take some food, whatever, and they have a really good time on the beach. And then at midnight they will walk backwards, I believe, into the sea. It's not something we've ever done ourselves, but it's a really big fiesta, and obviously for the last 2 years, because of COVID, it just hasn't happened. And so it really does feel as though we've come out of the pandemic now, because last night the whole of Mallorca seemed to go wild, and it became really big party time, and really looked good. So we had a great time in Palma. We didn't actually leave Palma till midnight, and the band was only just coming on stage, the main band. We didn't stay for that. But it was a really good night. There'll be other events going on, other things happening as well, so other than what we've spoken about, there'll be activities for children, so face painting and that sort of thing, keep the kiddies happy. But this evening, well, we wanted a bit of a change, so here we are in Peguera. We quite like Peguera. It's a nice close place for us to walk, and it's easy for us and quick for us to get to, where you can't really do that on the other side of the island. So we went to Calador last week, and it was really too hot to have a walk around. We were still in the heat wave then, and so we didn't actually get the benefit, I don't think, of being in Calador. So we'll go back and try and discover some new places, but probably try and do it on a day when it's a little bit cooler. So evening walks look as though we're going to be mainly in the Calvia area, Palma, or maybe as far as the Playa de Palma. They're all within a reasonable driving time of our house. I love that sound of surf. Something you don't get so often here in Mallorca, the sound of surf. Normally the sea's quite calm, but today, nice waves. From where we started, if I would actually gone in the opposite direction, there is another beach down there, so we've missed that one out. Not a lot of surfers out there. At the moment I can only see 3 of them. Just going to have a little walk around and see, well, we'll see what we can see. There's a little ramp here, we'll walk down that. I think I usually take the steps. So some of the beach bars like this one have already closed up for the evening. And more things open in town now. Because there's quite a lot of turbulence in the sea, the seaweed is being brought up. So Anita said, "Ooh, it looks a bit dirty in there." It's not really dirty, it's just seaweed that's being brought up, and the seaweed's actually good for the sand, it's good for the environment. They'll probably just take this off and take it somewhere, store it for a while, let it rain on it, wash it a little, and probably use it as fertilizer. Some fishermen out here as well. Their rods out. Beautiful views. Let's see if I can spot a surfer. I only see 3 of them out there. Surfing's actually a waiting game. You're just waiting for that wave. And then once you spot it, You paddle, 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 and hope you get it. And sometimes you do, and sometimes you don't. We come round now to the, I suppose the West Beach, and still a few people on this beach too, one or two in the sea, and the sea's looking almost as rough. I think there's one or maybe two surfers out there. Some people now are in the restaurants, but the sun's getting quite low, so it's right in your eyes. And others are just out for a promenade like we are. To get from the beach we've just been to this beach, you actually have to walk up and down. We never actually finished doing the promenade going around the headland. So you get so far and then you have to walk back. We are actually in the sun now, so it does actually feel quite a bit warmer. Are you warm, dear?
Very.
Very warm. So my feelings exactly. You know what that means? It means it's probably time to start thinking about finding somewhere for a nice cool drink. For those of you who think we eat out all the time, we actually had a very nice Thai curry this evening before we came out. So we had an early dinner, and this is our after dinner walk. We've had quite a lot of wind over the last few days, hence we've got the heavy seas. We've also had some rain, but that's conveniently confined itself to the hours of darkness. We haven't really had much in the daytime.
Made a mess everywhere though.
Yeah, so the rain that we've had, because the wind is coming from the south, that's why it's been hot. But it's also blowing over the Sahara, and it's bringing with it that Sahara dust, the really fine sand. So if any of you have watched the video of me driving through Magaluf, you'll see that my car lives up to its name. The duster is very dusty. Admiring Anita's parasol. I'm really always astounded you don't see more parasols. It seems such an elegant and efficient way of blocking the sun. Let's have a stall set up here. Many of the resorts you find little market type stalls that just set up in the evening. It's quite nice. Walking along, you can have a look at the trinkets that they have on offer. Two more days of school for me. It isn't even that actually. It's Monday and we're going to finish around lunchtime on Tuesday. A day and a half. I've got such a lot of work to do. Oh, never mind. Get it all done on Monday if we can. Has to be one of the benefits of teaching here in Mallorca, is that you do get this wonderful long summer holiday right through till September. In previous years we've normally just gone back to England for most of the summer to see our family and maybe gone from there to somewhere else on holiday. This year plans are a little less well organised, so we are going to England, but we don't have firm plans other than looking after grandchildren, which I'm very much looking forward to. Some street entertainment which has caught the eye of some of the promenaders. A busy bar on the beach. Something with a captive audience. The restaurant to the right is called Majorca. They're being entertained. And Malgrats are the islands over to the left. and some beautiful views of those islands. Maybe that's where we should go for a sunset picture. Let's do some sunset views over there.
Nice to see everywhere so busy.
Go up there to the high street, Main Street. I'm not sure what street it is. Quite a few people have asked me about Peguera, saying how far is it from places like Magaluf and Palmanova, because Anita likes it. It's a place to go shopping.
I do not like the shops.
They've also suggested that you have a camera and you can actually take them to some of the shops. Maybe that would be better than taking your plastic card. Just take the camera. We're going this way, dear?
Yes.
You're in charge. So yeah, lovely to see the place so vibrant. A lot of the restaurants, particularly the ones on the right hand side, might have closed or emptied at this side, and that's because they've got a wonderful terrace on the other side overlooking the sea, and they've got that wonderful view and the sound of the sea crashing on the beaches. Today is a fiesta, it's a holiday, so it's a Friday, and it nicely joins on to the weekend. So you'll get a lot of locals who are out, because it's a fiesta. They come down to Peguera, spend the day on the fantastic beaches they've got here. So there are three really good big beaches. Nice and deep, nice and wide, and safe for swimming.
Ik heb ze de mijne met 4 weken.
Just let me know if you need to stop to go in a shop here. Ladies there having their feet nibbled by fish. Last thing that I'd want.
I used to do that, it's great.
I know, you like it? Oh dear me. Hola. I like, when people make a reaction to the camera. It's quite nice. I know you sometimes get idiots who a few things, but really quite nice when someone smiles at the camera, waves at the camera. I think a lot of people just give me a really curious look when they see me walking around with something on a stick which they don't really recognise as anything. So it's 20:50 in the evening, that's 10 to 9, and it's 28 degrees Celsius, which is warm enough. But we're now in shade. The sun's just now gone, just behind the hills, and darkness will be encroaching upon us. Someone suggested we make a video catching buses and trains.
So last year we caught the train and the bus to either Majorca or Inca.
Yeah, they're good places to catch the train to. The train in Palma is really easy, and I've just walked over a bus stop, that's what's reminding me, and right in front of us you've got the times, and actually tells you when the next bus is coming up here. So there's like a screen which gives you some updated information. So line 101 in 16 minutes, line 102 in 19 minutes, 122 in 26 minutes, and then down below you've got all of the details about where those lines will actually take you, and you can pay on the bus. And our experience really travelling by public transport here and in the UK anyway is that it's much cheaper here than in the UK. And also the buses are clean and well kept. Is that your?
They are.
Huh?
To wear a mask.
Yeah, that may be the downside for some people, is that public transport is... Oh, hello!
How are you, sir?
Very good, thank you.
Everything okay?
Stopped to have a chat with a former parent. So I was just saying about face masks. Wearing of face masks has disappeared in most places, and now if you look around, nobody's wearing a mask. Oh, now I turn and see a young lad wearing a mask. There's always that exception to prove the rule, isn't it? You don't have to wear a mask almost anywhere now, except public transport. If you go on a bus, taxi, train, dare I say it's an aeroplane, because I'll get shot down now because I came here on an aeroplane, I didn't have to wear a mask. Well, the Spanish rule is you have to wear a mask. Now I guess if you're flying out of the UK, you're fine with the UK rule. And if you're flying to the UK and you're on a UK aeroplane, then I don't know. But the rule in Spain is you should be wearing your mask. And the other places you may visit are a chemist, a pharmacy. If you go into a chemist or a pharmacy, you have to wear a mask. And any sort of medical establishment, a clinic, a hospital, a doctor's, any of those, you have to wear a mask. So hopefully you don't have to visit those, and then masks are not required. The public transport is the one that might catch you out. But the bus driver won't let you on the bus if you haven't got a mask on. So you do need to carry a mask, and just checking my pocket, and yes, I have my Real Mallorca mask with me, so should it be required, I've got one there. Have you got a mask with you, Dee? Anita's got a mask with her as well. You see, we're good citizens, we follow the rules. Carry them, but hopefully don't have to use them. I think one thing about Paguera that attracts people as far as shopping is concerned is that there is a variety of shops, and there's a lot of them. I think there's a lot of shops, and there's different things to see, and you'll get high-end stuff, you'll get cheap stuff, so you pay your money and you take your choice. And the same's true with food as well. There are some cheap places and some very, very expensive places. So something to suit everyone, really. So one of the reasons for coming to Peguera was Anita wanted to go to a nail bar. Is that the right term?
Yeah, yeah.
We haven't found one. So while there's a wide variety of things, if you're looking for a business to set up in Peguera, nail bar might be the one for you. For you gentlemen out there, it's not a nail, it's not where they sell hammers and nails. Is this the right term? A nail bar? Is that what they refer to? Yeah. It's where they'll paint your nails. So, buy a bucket of paint and start painting nails. No, not those nails you knock in the wood. Nails on the end of your finger. Oh, I haven't seen one. You know, sometimes you go to places and you just spot one sort of a shop. Walking down the strip in Magaluf a couple of weeks ago, and we went to the hippie market there, I noticed a tattoo shop. We walked 10 paces and there was another tattoo shop, and then another, and then another, and then another. I don't know, 10 tattoo shops on the strip. I never really bothered counting before. I didn't particularly count this time, but I noticed that there's a lot of them. It's when you start noticing and looking out for things, you see that they either exist in profuity or they don't exist at all. Nail bars are in short supply there. And then notice that shop there. There's an Indian down there, tapas. And what could be more heavenly than Indian tapas? We both love our Indian food, and we both love tapas, and the idea of mixing the two, that's fusion. Wow, I'll go for that. Parent we've just spoken to was saying how this year was a really good year, doing really well, whereas the past 2 years have been awful and not done very well. And it shows here in the bars here, and the restaurant places are busy, 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 and hopefully making up a little bit for lost time. and the island is going to be very full over the next 2 or 3 months. So certainly the rest of June, July, August, and then September we'll get a different sort of client, but it's usually very busy in September as well. What will be interesting is what happens at the end of the season. That's October. Does it get dragged into November? Can we actually start to see a more year-round tourism? I think my own feeling really is that the hoteliers and the tour companies will say, wow, we've had a bumper year, and not push for extending it. I would really like to see it for the locals here. They work on short contracts, so typically 6 months. So they work for 6 months and then they're on the dole for 6 months. Paro, we call it here, and that has devastating effects really on their pensions. When they eventually come to retire, they've only worked half of the time, therefore only get half of the pension. Historically, when we first came here, Mallorca was more of a 12-month resort island. We brought different sorts of clients in the winter time. We used to get lots of pensioners coming for a month at a time, 3 months at a time, about as long as you can do now with a 90-day rule. But that died a death, and hotels started one by one to close during the winter. And out of the hundreds of hotels that are on the island, very few are actually open during the winter time, unfortunately. But we may see a bit of a change this year. They may extend it a little bit into November. People ask me what's it like in November, and my gauging on that one is bonfire night. I used to organise a bonfire for scouts. I used to have a great time, buy some fireworks and get some hot dogs, beers, get the parents down, and we used to make a lot of money to support the scouts. But the weather was always really good. It was always, when you're setting it up on November the 5th or whatever date we did it, we'd set it up in the afternoon, and we'd always be in t-shirts and it'd be really warm. It's obviously not August temperatures, July temperatures, or even June temperatures, but it's still pleasant enough to walk about and sit in the sun. It's even warm enough to go and swim in the sea. Macy just gave me a funny look then. Swim in the sea? She said that's in November.
Maybe you can do that in June.
The area to the right is a little park area, which is some nice park benches, but I think it has got lots of shade, so you can go and sit there and you're in the shade. Spotted something to photograph, hasn't it? Well, we hope you've enjoyed our little walk around Paguera. Thanks very much for watching. If you haven't already subscribed button, please hit that subscribe button, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.
Bye.